Home in San Antonio, Texas is packed to the rafters with excited Monster Jam fans. Every seat is sold out and the fans are on their feet, fired up for a night full of great racing and the best in freestyle. You're about to see it all here on Monster Jam.
Who's ready for Monster Jam? Yeah!
The reigning World Championship racing team, the Gravedigger, leads a star-studded lineup into San Antonio. The racing highlights and all the great freestyles coming your way here on Monster Jam. Hi again, I'm Scott Douglas. Let's jump right into all the racing action here on the floor of the Alamo Dome in San Antonio, Texas. All eyes on Pablo Huffaker and the Gravedigger as things got underway, but this racing bracket would be full of surprises as it came down to the final four. King Crunch able to knock off Eradicator, and the home state truck based in Texas, King Crunch, moved into the championship race, but the opponent would not be Gravedigger. Taz pulls the upset, eliminating Gravedigger from the racing field, and on this head-to-head course, staring eyeball to eyeball, David Smith brings out the King Crunch truck that is based not too far from San Antonio in Spring, Texas, against newcomer Lee O'Donnell from Lebanon, New Jersey in the Taz truck. Both trucks off to a great start into the first turn, maybe a slight edge to King Crunch, but Lee O'Donnell, a veteran with a lot of racing experience in other forms of motorsports, but new to monster trucks, tried to make up ground on a truck, King Crunch, and a driver, David Smith, with vast experience, including experience in the Monster Jam World Finals. They come to the final turn. The edge belongs to King Crunch, and he's pulling away at the end. It turns out to be a relatively easy victory for David Smith and King Crunch. Let's go down to the floor. Joe Lowe is going to catch up with our winner.
Congratulations, man.
Thanks very much. I want to thank Jeff and Troy back over there in the corner. My wife up top, she's the one who supports me through all this stuff. And I mean, the truck was running great. They kept me, kept me on the straight and narrow, basically. And we were lucky enough to come away with a win.
You know what's really amazing, and we talk so much about this family we have called Monster Truck Family, and I was looking around earlier today. I had a few minutes, and I was checking out and seeing how many people here have family members working with them, supporting them, traveling with them. This really is a family sport.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we travel 42 weeks a year, and without your family being able to be with you at some of those races or all of the races, you just go stir crazy. So, no, like I said, I'm lucky enough that they were able to come this weekend. Everybody over in the corner, they took care of me, and we came away with it.
Well, you get the Sierra Mist Monster Jam race win, and that's a wonderful thing, but that's not all that's happening here tonight.
No, we got freestyle left, and that's one of my favorite events. I mean, I like to race, but I love to freestyle, so we're going to come out here and see if we can tear it up for these fans a little bit, and who knows, maybe we'll walk away with that one too.
Let's do something for you here. If you'll hold that, let me get this out of here, and let me come over here and show you this. It says San Antonio Alamo Dome Monster Truck Race. Well, actually, this is freestyle, but it's a race win, and you get it. I'll change that and make sure you get the right one. One, Dave.
I'll just keep this one too, and go ahead and bring them a race. Oh man, everybody here is great freestylers, and I mean, we definitely got a tough road to hoe, and we're going to come out here and do the best job that we can, and see if we can walk away with that one.
All right, congratulations to you, ladies and gentlemen. One more time for David Smith and Texas's own King Crunch.
As you can tell, like the tens of thousands of Texas Monster Jam fans, Joe Lowe and everybody fired up for the fans' favorite, and that is freestyle. We begin the freestyle competition with Jack Coburna and Toughen Up as he comes out to try and put down the first score, hoping that he'll put up a score nobody else can beat. Now in freestyle, there are 3 judges. They're all fans, but they're pre-selected, and it's up to them to determine each truck's score based on 1 for the worst and 10 for the best. Coburna will try to get as high a score as he can and see if any of the other competitors can beat it as we go through. The judges looking for excitement. They want to see these trucks come out and hit all the obstacles, lots of momentum, lots of excitement, and Coburna's off to a nice start, keeping up some good momentum, and so far, hitting everything out there in front of him. This is a big floor in San Antonio, and it's certainly one that gives the Monster Jam drivers the opportunity to do everything in their repertoire. We'll see if Coburna can add any special tricks to his run here with still 40 seconds on the clock of the 90 seconds that each truck is allotted. And up he goes over the bus stack. He took it kind of easy, but still, the judges give him credit for hitting that obstacle. One of the keys is to hit everything on the track, and so far, Jack Coburna has done that well. Up and over the van stack. What they want to see, though, is some big air, and that's the one area where Coburna has not been able to deliver so far. If he can finish up and hit a couple of huge jumps, the score would probably go up some, but he is now running out of time. As Jack Coburna finishes off his run, kept some good momentum up, was able to hit all the obstacles, but did not give him a few wow moments, and that'll probably cost him in the eyes of the judges. Still, he filled the clock, and that's the first thing you have to do to get a good score, but it'll be just a score of 10 for Jack Coburna. Still, he's got a lot of fans in this part of the country, and they love seeing him out there. Now, here's one of the hot new trucks on the circuit, Darren Basil driving El Matador. This is actually the teammate to the King Crunch truck that earlier won the racing competition here in San Antonio. Well, now there's some of the air we're talking about. El Matador, nicely done on the sky wheelie as he shoots it up over the car stack here in San Antonio. He's early on. He wants to set the biggest score and raise the bar as high as he can here in this freestyle competition of Monster Jam. Carrying nice momentum to the van stack, and again, some good air, nice long jump from Darren Basil and El Matador. Got a little run started on donuts. This may be a tough floor to do donuts on. We'll see as some of the other competitors who may be a little more adept at cutting the cyclone-style donuts that the fans love come a little later. Basil got one started, but really wasn't able to get it executed in the revolution after revolution. But there's some more nice air from Darren Basil and El Matador, now inside the final 30 seconds of his freestyle run in San Antonio. That's how they want to see you hit the van. Nice momentum going up and over the vans and the bus stack in the center of the San Antonio floor. And now time for really just one or two more moves for Darren Basil. Clock winding down, the final seconds tick away. It's clear he will fill the clock. I think he would have liked to have ended it maybe on a higher note. Here he's going to make one more hit, see if he can get some nice air and a nice job on the sky wheelie to wrap it up. And he bounces it into a nice slap wheelie as well. Pretty solid run for a young star in the sport, Darren Basil. The score is a 20, and that will put him into first place. But remember, it's still early in this freestyle competition. Now here's a veteran who's been at the game a long time, Andy Slifko, and the unique-looking Eradicator. New paint style for the new season, black and purple predominantly on the Eradicator for the new year. Slifko, a driver really known for nailing some sky wheelies. He'll stick that truck straight up and down, which the judges tend to like quite a bit. Let's see if he does it here, although right now he's carrying a lot of momentum as he tries to look for really the move to get his run started. Slifko will come to the van stack and just kind of ease over it. That was not the way I think he wanted to hit it. Still looks like he's kind of feeling the course out, and he's got time, but really needs to start picking up and hitting some things big if he wants to impress these judges. Up and over the van stack, noses it up nice and smooth. Half his run is complete. And if he wants to get the lead away from Darren Basil, he's probably going to have to really pick the pace up over these final 30 seconds. Goes over the vans nice, but again, note that he didn't get the air we saw earlier with El Matador, and that's how the judges evaluate truck to truck. Look at the air one truck gets and compare it to another. Look at what one truck does with donuts and compare it to another. And Slifko's trying to break a donut loose, but again, this surface, this very tightly packed dirt, is looking pretty tough to cut a donut on, although here he goes. Had to work at it, but it was worth the effort because it's a nice job on the donuts, although a whole lot of smoke coming out of the Eradicator at the end of the run. Still, Andy Slifko fills the clock, and clearly the fans had a lot of fun with that one. He's up on two wheels, but pulls it down, and that will complete the run for Andy Slifko and the Eradicator. So it's up to the judges, and they decided to score of 16. Slifko getting the cheers of the crowd, but he'll go in to second place. El Matador remains the leader, and here comes El Matador's teammate, David Smith and King Crunch. You are looking at one of the premier freestylers in the world. Smith has finished in the top 5 in the Freestyle World Finals at Sam Boyd Stadium in Las Vegas in previous years. So he is a freestyler who can get the job done. He's also won many televised freestyle events. This guy knows how to excite a crowd, and there you see it right there. The best air we've seen all day over that bus stack. No fear from David Smith in his home state of Texas in King Crunch. That man stack is getting beat down quite a bit, and that's going to cost him a chance to get some air probably. Right now there's not a lot on the van stack, and you may see some of these drivers just hit it once or twice and try to do most of their work on the bus stack, because that's where you're going to get the air, as you see right there from David Smith. Right now, if you want to get sick air, you've got to go to the bus stack and really hammer that throttle as you're going up the ramp. We'll see the final 30 seconds of the run. Good air there on a sky wheelie over a solo car sitting in the corner, but he wanted to try and knock that into a slap wheelie where he would have bounced the front end back up, but it didn't work out that time. 20 seconds left on the clock. Smith would love a wow moment, a big hit to end this run with, but he's running out of time. Very popular here in Texas, and that may help him with the judges as well. He would really like to have one more big hit, and that's all he's got time left for. Again, he goes over, gets some good air over the one car sitting there, but it's not going to be enough, or we'll see from the judges, may not be enough to get the lead away from his teammate, as El Matador still sits in the top spot with a 20. Now the clock is full, but David Smith not stopping yet. He's just doing this for the fans because the judges have to turn their scores in at the end of 90 seconds, but David Smith not wanting to stop. He's going to give the fans their money's worth tonight here in San Antonio. And there he is, he wraps it up, and the scores, pretty good scores right there. As you can see, it'll be a 21 and enough to take the lead. Now, one of the fastest rising stars in Monster Jam, Damon Bradshaw, behind the wheel of the popular Air Force Afterburner, the truck that's actually sponsored by a military wing in the United States, the United States Air Force. Bradshaw in his first full season as a Monster Jam driver, but he's no rookie to motorsports. For years, he was one of the legends, one of the biggest names in Supercross. But he turned in his motorcycle and his two-wheel career, got out of that for a while. Now he's in four wheels, and he has really been coming on strong in the Air Force Afterburner. Every time out, Bradshaw seems to get better and better, stronger and stronger. And here he goes right to the bus stack. Although it's totally different, of course, driving a motorcycle as opposed to a big monster truck, you could tell one thing Bradshaw takes from one to the other is the ability to fly high. He has to cut that run short, and that'll cost him a little bit with the judges. The score is an 18, so the leader remains King Crunch. And here comes popular Carl Van Horn and Team Action. Look at this. He's going to shed the body. Right off the bat, the body comes flying off the frame, and the fans are loving it. Nice leap right there to get it rolling. And this is going to be great opportunity to see inside the cab and see how hard Carl Van Horn is working on the T-Max truck. One thing you will notice, a lot of times he has two hands on the steering wheel, but at times one hand will leave the steering wheel. That's when it goes to a toggle switch that controls the rear steer. The rear wheels steer separately. The front wheels are steered by the steering wheel. The rear wheels are steered by a toggle switch called the rear steer. And that's what Carl Van Horn is working right now, trying to get T-Max around and get the lead away from King Crunch, who had a score of 21, the top one we've seen so far. Awesome, nice sick air from Carl Van Horn as he takes T-Max up and over the van stack, and the bus is right there in the center. Still 30 seconds left on the run. Again, it's critical to use every second on the clock, and he does it with a nice long leap and some more big air from the driver they call CVH, Carl Van Horn. Oh, he's lost the wheel, but he's going to keep going. Who says you need four wheels to freestyle? Van Horn continues to slam the donuts, doing it on three wheels. Here's the move right at the beginning as we look at the replay where the body came flying off. Look at this. We've got a new leader. The judges give Van Horn a score of 27, and that takes the top spot. Now, John Zimmer brings out the backdraft truck, a driver from the northeastern part of the United States, out of Arlington, Vermont. Pretty new to the circuit, but Zimmer has been very impressive, and most of the veterans who have seen him early on think that John Zimmer is going to be a big star in this sport as he spends time driving both the backdraft truck and a second T-Max truck at various locations around the country and around the world. Zimmer, though, will try to knock off his teammate to get the top spot. Carl Van Horn and T-Max currently sits number 1. Backdraft trying to catch him here, and he'll need to pick up some more momentum. He's off to a pretty solid start, but certainly nothing as spectacular as we saw with Carl Van Horn and T-Max just a moment ago. And right now, he kind of acts like he's searching. This is such a big floor, you can almost kind of get lost on it, and you've really got to get turned around and back to attacking the obstacles, because what the judges are looking for is that you don't waste a lot of time. They want to see you flying high and smashing everything that's out on the track. Backdraft, you can hear how powerful that engine is. Close to 1,500 horsepower underneath the hood of the backdraft machine as John Zimmer takes it down to his final 20 seconds, looking for a big finish right here. Nicely done on the sky wheelie. Get some good technique points there, but again, no wow factor to end it up with. He's down to his final 5 seconds. John Zimmer, backdraft, finishing up the run in freestyle at San Antonio. So he'll fill the clock. Would doubt that that's going to be enough to get the lead away from Carl Van Horn, but again, that's up to the judges. John Zimmer does complete his run, and the scores indeed reflect the fact that he really didn't have any big wow moments. It's a total of 12 for newcomer John Zimmer in backdraft, but he's a guy who's learning and is going to be a good one in the Monster Jam sport. Now Lee O'Donnell behind the wheel of Taz. Lee made it all the way to the racing finals before losing to David Smith and King Crunch. So he's the runner-up in racing. He'd love to do that one better and become the winner in freestyle here in San Antonio, and he's off to a strong start. This Taz truck, one of the most popular concept trucks out there. The cartoon-looking machine is one that can really fly high, and look at that. All the way over the bus, just clearing. Never even touched it as he hit the throttle and sails it through the San Antonio Alamo Dome. That's how you do a slap wheelie right there. You bounce it over the car, let the front wheels hit, and then snap the front end back up. The best slap wheelie we've seen in this competition, and it comes from Lee O'Donnell and Taz. Now some donuts. Unfortunately, with 37 seconds to go, the truck shuts down, but they let him fire it back up, and he can continue on. So Lee O'Donnell, he needs to be almost perfect to get the lead away from Carl Van Horn, who's got a big number on the board. 27 for T-Max is your lead score. But Lee O'Donnell is putting on a show. Didn't hit the car the way he wanted to there. He was looking for another slap wheelie, but now he'll go across the bus stack the other way. And again, the judges love seeing things that the others haven't done. And Lee O'Donnell's done a couple of things no other drivers have done, and that should resonate with the judges. Down to his final 3 seconds. Another slap wheelie, getting the front end up, not quite as well as the first one he did, but he was still pretty strong. He's up on 2 wheels and over on his lid. Oh my, what a way to finish it out. Lee O'Donnell and Taz, it was a good run. They'll put him into second place as his score is a 23, but the leader remains Carl Van Horn and T-Max with a 27. Now, earlier we saw Darren Basil drive El Matador. This is his brother, Aaron Basil, behind the wheel of one of the most popular trucks, especially in terms of the way the fans look at it when they get on the floor to see it up close during the pit party. We're talking about the Blacksmith, modeled after a 1941 styles Willys pickup truck. And Aaron Basil, another of the youth movement in Monster Jam, a young driver who continues to rise up the ladder and has been very impressive in this piece. Looking for a donut here, and again, it's been tough as we've seen for some of the trucks to get the donut momentum going, and it looks like he's going to abandon that idea. So Blacksmith will look for some more high-flying air at this point, and once again, when we see these trucks kind of using this big floor but not hitting anything, that's where you don't score big with the judges. So Blacksmith really needs to look to pick up his momentum here in the final 30 seconds of the run. But it doesn't look like he's going to rival the score that Carl Van Horn was able to turn in at T-Max. Still, he's got time for a big finish. Up and over the bus stack. Nicely done into a slap wheelie. That was a nice move by Aaron Basil, driving Blacksmith. But now he's down to his final 10 seconds. Really, just time for one more move for Blacksmith. And he'll go to the bus stack, get some decent air, and that will fill the clock for Aaron Basil and Blacksmith. Would not expect that score, though, to rival the leader. It doesn't. It's a total of 16 for Blacksmith, so he'll finish closer to the back of the pack. Never really seemed to get it going. And a nice slap wheelie as we saw there. Well, here comes Pablo Huffaker and the legendary Gravedigger. Huffaker is going to have to be on his game because a 27 is a big score from T-Max. But look at this start for Huffaker. He comes right out into some Digger donuts, and that's what you call announcing your presence. That's what gets the crowd on their feet and gets the judges already looking for high numbers. But he's got to sustain it through the entire 90-second run. Pablo's one of the best in the business at doing just that, and look at that air. Absolutely sick air from Gravedigger. Pablo's been at this game more than 20 years. He's been part of the Gravedigger team most of that time. One of the premier Gravedigger drivers on what is arguably top to bottom the best team of drivers ever assembled in Monster Jam. And Pablo is showing them how it's done in freestyle here in San Antonio. Again, huge air, and that's something that Huffaker is known for. Plenty of time as he'll continue to just fly high, still half the run left. And Pablo Huffaker and Gravedigger has got these fans excited in San Antonio. If he can finish strong, he's got a shot to take the win away from Van Horn. And look at him going the donuts again. Dizzying set of Digger donuts from Pablo Huffaker and Gravedigger. And now riding the slap wheelie out almost to the end of the Alamo Dome. That was outstanding. Still 15 seconds to go, although Gravedigger's not one known to stop when the clock goes to zero. The judges will have to turn their scores in when the clocks go to complete zeros. And right now, Huffaker's got time for one more move. Oh, look at him sky over the buses. Some of the biggest air we've seen and one of the best slap wheelies of the night. And how about that for his final move before the judges have to turn in their scores? He might have done enough to get the victory away from T-Max. But he's going to keep running. That's the way Huffaker and the Gravedigger team like to do it. They're not worried about the clock stopping. They're worried about continuing to please the Gravedigger fans, and Huffaker is doing just that. Even though it's not for score anymore, that's some of the best air we've seen over that bus, and Pablo's hit it that way several times. He'll give him some donuts now on the other side of the floor. Pablo Huffaker exciting this huge crowd in San Antonio with a vintage freestyle performance behind the wheel of the Gravedigger from Kill Devil Hills, North Carolina. And he will park it right on top of the bus, and the crowd goes nuts. They love it in San Antonio. Look at the huge air from Gravedigger on the replay, and then he rides it into a slap wheelie, and there it is. He will be your winner with a score of 29. Jolo, Huffaker is your winner.
Your winner, Pablo Huffaker and Gravedigger. Pablo, congratulations, man.
Oh, thank you, San Antonio. You guys are awesome.
I've got something for you here, buddy. January 13th, San Antonio Alamo Dome, Monster Truck Freestyle Champion. The Sierra Mist Monster Jam Freestyle is yours.
Cool deal, man. That's a good way to start out the year. You know, last weekend we were in a little event. We pulled out 3 wins there, but you know, ain't nothing like coming to San Antonio, Texas with a full house and being able to pull it off here. You guys are awesome. This one goes to my crew and to my wife, Tina.
The Gravedigger comes out here, wins it freestyle. He took racing away from you.
Hey, yeah, but you know, I had a little bit of problem in my racing rounds. I lost my batteries. Not saying that I wouldn't have lost anyhow. You put on a good race. But...
All right, Pablo Huffaker, Gravedigger.
Clearly a popular victory and an outstanding freestyle in San Antonio. Gravedigger wins it by 2 points over T-Max, and big congratulations to Carl Van Horn, who did a great job in that truck. And as you look at the second half of the top 5, keep your eye in the future on the Air Force Afterburner. Damon Bradshaw is a driver who is coming on in the Monster Jam sport. For Jolo, I'm Scott Douglas. Glad to have you along in San Antonio. We'll look for you next time on Monster Jam.